So let's talk about the short term. The short term, the key factor is return on investment. Now, through the United States, there's different parts where the return on investment is much higher. Michigan happens to be some high return on investment numbers there. Key part there in Michigan is a lot of people are heavily weighing on the Metro Detroit market. When I say Metro Detroit, it's Detroit and the surrounding suburbs. And a lot of you think the word Detroit, they run from here to Mars. I'm here to tell you that there's some good areas and bad areas. But I want to focus a little bit more on the Detroit market because I believe that return on investment throughout the whole nation, it's one of the highest, and upwards of double digits. If you're doing it right, and you're pretty savvy with the dealings over there, and you know what you're doing, and you're educated in the areas and all that kind of good stuff, you're seeing upwards of 20% or higher. I know it sounds crazy, 20%. I mean, you can't get 20% in anything nowadays other than real estate. Is that if you're consistently can make 20%, you don't need real estate. All right. If you can do 20% in any other thing besides real estate, my advice to you is run and do it, because there's some risk, and the risk that you take, to some it's beneficial and it reaps the rewards, but some people can't handle that risk. And what I mean by can't handle the risk is they can't afford to lose the money. They really can't. They got $20,000, $30,000 to be working with, or $50,000 that we're working with, and if they lose that, that's their life savings. That's not the investor that I can see benefiting from a market like Detroit. I believe that a person that has the money is willing to make that investment and also take the risk of knowing that the money's out there, and let's face it, nothing is guaranteed in life. That's the perfect investor for this, okay? The person that wants to invest between $100,000 to $400,000, maybe even slightly $500,000. The return on the investment alone, okay, you can reap the rewards without any growth. If the prices remain the same from now to another 3 years, okay, you would still benefit because the return on investment is so high. So let's talk about that. Buying a house in Metro Detroit, it can range from as little as $1,000. But at the end of the day, you want a functional, stable, good community. You don't want a lot of board ups. You don't want a lot of vacancies on that street. You want it to hold its own. You want it to be rentable. You want it to be in high demand for that rent. And in order to do that, in my opinion, you're going to have to pay between $25,000 upwards of $50,000, depending on the neighborhood, of course. But let's focus between the 25 to 35 mark. All right. Now, $25,000, you're probably laughing, saying, "How can you get a home for $25,000?" I've heard about this in the news where you can buy it for $1,000. I've heard you can buy homes over there for whatever. $25,000 in my mind is the bare minimum. And what I mean by bare minimum, you got a home that's either brick or aluminum, brick or vinyl. The exterior as a whole with the roof and the siding and the windows, they're in good shape. All right, they're not in the most pristine shape, but they are in good shape. You don't need windows, you don't need roof, you don't need an exterior. We're talking about buying a house for $3,000 to $5,000. We're talking about rough areas, rough homes. You're not going to rent them out for your $700-800 a month. You're going to be dealing with people that are desperate, people that will just get into these houses for whatever, and good luck trying to collect every month. When you're dealing with the upper end house, upper end, right, between 25 to 35, you're dealing with a stronger tenant. You're dealing with a better quality of home. You're dealing with a better neighborhood. You're dealing with much better odds for success. So my sweet spot in my mind is between $25,000 to $35,000. So if you're getting a house between $25,000 to $35,000, your return on investment is going to be between 15 to 20% depending on the rental amount. And the rental amounts in that range, again, just generalizing here, are between $700 upwards of $850, maybe even $900. So that's crazy. Your taxes in those areas are going to be between $1,500 to $2,000 a year. Okay, insurance, we're talking about another $100 a month with liability and whatnot. So we're talking about an expense of $200 to maximum $300 a month. You're collecting $800. That's $500 profit per month that you're going to be able to get back in. If you're paying $30,000, you're going to get back in 5 to 6 years. All right, and as the rental amounts increase, which I'm finding that they're increasing per year on a yearly basis, because these, at the end of the day, people need to live in homes. And you have a lot of people that lost their homes in 2011, 2012, even in 2013. And they have to rent, they're forced to rent. So the rental amounts have increased, I'd say between 10 to 20% depending on the market that you're in. So this is something that you need to pay close attention to. And the reason why I say that is because this is where the trend is going. I believe my money, if I put it out there right now, the best chance for it to come back to me is in that short-term key of the return on investment. This is going to be getting 15% of your money is going to come back to you per year. That's great. 15% of my money is going to come back to me every single year until I get my initial investment back, and now I'm just making pure profit. This is unbelievable. That's not to mention, if anything, the properties go from 25 to 35 in the next 5 years, or even 25 to 40 in the next 5 years. You really have to go with your gut here, okay? I don't want you to get started if you're feeling too scared. And I don't want you to get started if you're feeling way too excited and you just want to get your money out there. I really want that person that is willing to take that risk, can afford to take that risk, and is excited about taking that risk. So I encourage you, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. I have a passion for real estate. I would love to educate you on the different areas. I would love to educate you on the different possibilities. I would even love to educate you on what your strategies are, and kind of talk about your long-term or short-term goals, or anything that pertains to real estate. I know that if it doesn't come to me now, it'll come back to me later. So I'm not looking for something that needs to be done immediate satisfaction. Like I said, I've been doing real estate for over 16 years, and I plan on being there for another 16 years. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, God willing. Thank you very much. Please give me a call. I would love to talk to you, and excited to meet you. Thanks.